And it was at that point when I called my boss a moron. Hey guys, today we're going to do another deep dive on one of the most common interview questions you're likely to get at your next interview. But first, I want to start off by going through a sample answer, so let's go ahead and get started. Great answer, good answer, good answer, great answer, great answer. So for our next question, we'd like you to share with us a time that you disagreed with the supervisor in a previous role. Absolutely. Well, just a few years ago, I was working at an IT help desk when Wait. Not to interrupt, but we are already off to a pretty bad start here. Okay, well, maybe not a bad start, but there is a better way to begin your response. And that is by discussing your philosophy when it comes to conflict. It is just an easy way to give them some extra perspective into how you deal with difficult situations and help you stand out amongst the other candidates. So let's start that over. I find that most conflicts in the workplace are communication-based. Either something was miscommunicated or simply wasn't communicated at all. And it's for this reason that I like to handle most conflicts by simply having a quick conversation with the person to understand their perspective and just see where the disconnect was. For example, a few years ago I was working at an IT help desk. Hey, me again. When you're answering a behavioral question like this one, you're going to want to use the STAR format. Situation, task, action, result. For example, right here, we are starting the situation part of our response. Now, if you don't know what the STAR format is, be sure to check out this video. Be sure to check out this video right here. Okay, now back to our response. I was on the phone with a customer who had been passed around between different departments and was very frustrated by the time she got on the line with me. After listening to her, I understood that I couldn't directly solve her problem, but instead of just transferring her to another department, I reached out to a colleague who I knew could help solve her problem, and together we were able to fix the issue. I was later confronted by my manager though, who scolded me for taking so long on the call. He said that I had been taking too long on most of my calls and that I needed to spend less time on each of them in order to get through more customers. Now in this situation, I heard my manager out, but I knew I was right and he was wrong. So after that day, I still just took my time on the phone calls. I didn't really listen to what he said. Okay, now this is going to be the most important point I make. Are you sitting down? Are you ready? Are you listening? Whether or not you are right or wrong has no relevance when dealing with the disagreement with your boss, especially when answering this interview question. Who's responsible at the end of the day? In most cases, your boss. Therefore, that decision rests with your boss. When you're the boss, you can listen to or ignore your direct reports. But going behind your manager's back, even if you think or know you're right, is the worst thing that you can do. So let's go ahead and try that one again. He told me that I needed to spend less time on each call in order to get through more customers. Now, I disagreed with that point of view, and I felt that I needed to explain to him why it was important that I spend extra time on this call. I let him know the situation, and that by spending a little bit of extra time on my end, I was able to save the customer much more time and frustration than she would have experienced had I just transferred her call. Frustration that she would have associated directly with our department. Even after my explanation though, my manager still disagreed with my actions and stressed the importance of getting through callers more quickly so that we didn't have such a high wait time. And it was at this point that I called my boss a moron, right? There's a way customer service is supposed to work, and the way he was suggesting wasn't that. So I went ahead and did it the correct way, which was my way. Okay, I think we all know that that is not how that situation was supposed to be handled. But let's take a look at some of the things we did do right. For example, we confronted our boss and let him know about our opinions on the matter. We backed that opinion up with some actual reason. And this is honestly the main purpose of this interview question. Are you ready and able to respectfully disagree with somebody in authority? Bringing up your concerns is your responsibility, and in this situation, it was done well. Got it? Great. Now let's see how we were supposed to handle that one the right way. My manager then stressed the importance of getting through callers more quickly so that we didn't have such a high wait time. And while I still disagree that we should sacrifice good customer service just to get through calls quicker, I did understand his point that we often had people waiting on hold, and that also made for a negative experience for those customers. As a result of that conversation, I did make a conscious effort to improve my efficiency of calls where possible in order to ensure that other customers didn't have to wait as long to talk to somebody. All right, and we're back. Quickly, let's go over some of the key things we learned from that example. And you know what? I'm gonna throw in a couple bonus tips here. But before we do that, I wanna make sure that you press that like button if you enjoyed this video so far. Did you do it? Did you do it? So, first thing we learned, pepper in some of that personality by briefly explaining your personal philosophy when it comes to conflict. Trust me, this tiny addition to any behavioral question really helps you stand out. Second lesson, it does not matter if you are right or wrong, because at the end of the day, you need to respect your manager's authority, unless we're talking about something that's unethical. But that's rarely the case. In any case though, you are responsible for bringing up your concerns to your manager and explaining your perspective. Bonus tip, when you are answering this interview question, do not, I repeat, do not criticize your boss or badmouth anyone or, just generally complain that, oh no, it wasn't my fault, right? Again, nobody cares if it was your fault, and it's not doing you any help by bringing that up and complaining like a kid. If you would like a written copy of this interview response, make sure you check out the description where I have posted a link to the full article that I wrote about this interview question. And if you need help answering any of the behavioral questions that you're likely to get at your next interview, be sure to check out this video right here, and that's got another deep dive on one of the most common behavioral interview questions that you're likely to get. You've got time. It's not going away. Well, I mean, now it is.